Welcome back to this week's episode of Lights, Camera, Akron. I'm Brissa Bradfield.
And I'm Michael Macon. On this episode, we take a look at Stand Up to Suicide, an event put on by a University of Akron student.
And Bree met up with two Akron alum as they showed their love for the university.
All this and more coming on Lights, Camera, Akron. With suicide rates on the rise, and statistics showing that in the past 50 years, the suicide rate for those ages 15 to 24 has increased by over 200%.
And approximately 1,100 college students take their life every year in the United States, making suicide the second leading cause of death among college students.
Earlier this month, a University of Akron student set up 123 chairs in honor of the 123 lives lost every day. Reporter Naquan James attended. Let's take a look.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people in the United States. These 123 chairs represent the average life lost daily to suicide. The goal of this event is to bring awareness to suicide and to provide resources to people that need it.
On September 26th in Coleman Common, there were 123 chairs displayed, representing the statistic that an average of 123 individuals in the U.S. die by suicide every day. And my hope in creating a display of this statistic is that it would draw students and staff who are passing to come to our information tables in front of the chairs to, number one, learn about suicide prevention, and number two, get connected to resources, number three, have an opportunity to use their voice in the suicide conversation by filling out a sign that says, "I stand up to suicide because," and tape it to the display. Display of this statistic is that it would draw students and staff who are passing to come to our information tables in front of the chairs to, number one, learn about suicide prevention, and number two, get connected to resources, number three, have an opportunity to use their voice in the suicide conversation by filling out a sign that says, "I stand up to suicide because," and tape it to the display.
Senior Katie Hickman organized the event. She tells me some staggering statistics about suicide and some reasons why people are driven to it, including that they want their pain to go away but believe there are no other options.
Well, first of all, the 123 statistic is what this entire project was based around, but the reason why I wanted to do this is because the statistic that 1,100 college students die by suicide every single year. Suicide has now become the second leading cause of death for young adults, and that has increased by 200% over the past few decades. And so this is a rising crisis, and college students are not exempt from that. I don't think suicide is necessarily about wanting to die, but more so about wanting to escape pain, which is why it's such a passion of mine to connect people with resources. Because when you are in that mourning and in that pain and in that mindset, you need other people reaching out and fighting for you and fighting to connect you with other ways of coping that aren't permanent.
There are plenty of resources out there for students, but not enough people are aware of them.
I think the stigma that surrounds suicide awareness and prevention stops a lot of people, and then I think that some people just aren't aware of the resources. Like, we have free counseling offered on campus, but so many students don't know about it. There are handfuls of suicide prevention organizations. There are crisis text lines, there are phone lines, there are online counseling opportunities.
There are plenty of resources there for people contemplating suicide, including a counseling testing center on campus. Also, there is a National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 1-800-273-8255, or log on to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Naquan James, Lights, Camera, Akron.
Wow, it's really impactful hearing how many students went out and supported the event.
I agree, because we all know someone who's been affected. It really is a growing concern in the United States.
And another awesome event on campus this week was Mocktails, an event put on by the ZIPS Programming Network in support of Alcohol Awareness Week.
We're members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
We are Kappa Kappa Gamma. And
we're South Hell
we are
Gov.
Phi Delta Epsilon.
We're Delta Gamma.
We're part of Sigma Nu.
LGBTUA.
Alpha Gamma Delta, and this is Mocktails.
And this is Mocktails.
And welcome to Mocktails. And you're at Mocktails.
Mocktails is an event put on by the University of Akron's ZIPS programming network. Josh Fillers is the traditional chair at ZPN who put on the event.
Mocktails, which is an event that we do every year, and it's aimed towards student organizations and anybody in fraternities or sororities that want to compete to offer like a party-like setting for the students, but in a non-alcoholic environment.
This event was put on as a part of Alcohol Awareness Week at the University of Akron.
Alcohol Awareness Week takes place in October of every year, and this week we are celebrating it here on campus by putting on a bunch of different events, one of which was Mocktails. And it's really just to spread, obviously how the title sounds, spread awareness about alcohol, but specifically about the safety and like proper use of alcohol, I suppose. And just making sure that everybody knows how to be safe.
With the event being put on at a college campus, Josh wanted Mocktails to be enjoyable while also spreading knowledge about alcohol awareness.
At Mocktails, on each of the tables that the student organizations had set up, there was a fact on each table about like just negative effects that can happen from abuse of alcohol. And then during the actual Mocktails event, then we would give the trivia question, and the answer to the trivia question would be in one of the facts on the tables. So it was another way to kind of get people to, instead of just passing by the fact, to be able to actually, you know, digest the fact and then be able to answer a trivia question and get people to actually read them. So this is kind of like our touch on Mocktails for the Alcohol Awareness Week portion of it. I tried to make as many facts pertaining to college as possible. And really the biggest thing with drinking on college campuses isn't the fact that people are drinking, it's more of how they're drinking. So it's the binge drinking is the big problem on college campuses, and that's just drinking more alcohol than your body is able to metabolize in like a single sitting, which is what then leads to alcohol poisoning and having to go to the emergency room to get your stomach flushed and all that kind of stuff. So it's more of just how you drink and drinking too much too fast.
While others could look at planning mocktails to be a tedious task, Josh enjoys the challenge because of the safety awareness he is spreading to all participants.
It shows people that you don't have to have alcohol to have a fun time, which is exactly why we put on Mocktails, to kind of have like that party-like environment. Everybody's, you know, there's a theme. This year's theme was TV shows and sitcoms, so you have everybody dressed up in costumes and just kind of socializing and talking to each other, having fun, laughing, but showing that there was no alcohol involved and you don't need the alcohol to have a good time. So this year's Mocktails went really well. So we actually had 27 student organizations that turned out. We had, well, there's supposed to be 3 winners, but we actually had a tie for 3rd place. So, which is even better in my opinion, because we were able to give money to 4 organizations this year instead of just 3. So we had about 226 people that showed up as well. So I think it was a really good turnout this year.
The success of this year's Mocktails has ZPN anxious for next year as they hope to expand the event.
Next year, I'd like to see at the event possibly having a group on campus or bringing in an outside group that focuses specifically with alcohol awareness and alcohol abuse, and have them there as like a sponsor of the event to kind of have their view, people who deal with it every single day as their job, come in and be able to talk about it and spread awareness more than just some facts on the tables. We had 27 this year. I'd like to try to get up toward like late 30s, like high 30s. See if maybe we can push 40? That'd be cool. And so, because right now the tables are lined around the outside of the ballrooms, so not only have that, but also have some tables in the middle, and just get that filled up a lot more and then bring in a lot more people as well. If you were able to come out to Mocktails this week and you had fun and enjoyed yourself and you're part of a student organization, then get your student organization to sign up for next year and come out and enjoy yourself. We want to have as many student orgs as possible next year, and we want it to be even bigger and better.
Reporting for Lights Camera Akron, I'm Jay Goliath.
I think it's great that the university takes the time to put on events like mocktails.
I agree. Especially on a college campus, students do need to know the effects of alcohol.
Well, it looks like it's time for our first commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, my name's Kyle Glockner and welcome to another episode of 300 Seconds of Science. Wait, this isn't... This ain't it? Nah. That's a negative, Chief. We're almost there. Wait, hold on, go back. There it is.
Welcome back to LCA, everyone. Brissa, have you ever heard of meals getting delivered to your door?
To your door? I don't think so.
Well, actually, there's a company called Blue Apron where they ship all the ingredients for a week's worth of meals right to your front door.
Really?
Yeah, and the CEO of Blue Apron was actually at the University of Akron just this past week, and I got a chance to talk to him.
How neat. Let's take a look.
Last week, I got a chance to attend a speech about the principles of leadership given by Blue Apron CEO Brad Dickerson. During the speech, Brad went over some of the main principles of leadership and the characteristics it takes to make a great one.
So there's 5 of them, but I think there's a couple ones that stand out to me. One is self-awareness. Self-awareness is something for me that has been very important, not only in my career, but in what I've seen in other great leaders in their careers, of people who are very aware of what their strengths are, maybe things they enjoy doing versus things they don't enjoy doing, understanding themselves as an individual and where they can best add value in an organization versus where maybe in some things others may be more valuable to help them out in their endeavors because of what their strengths and weaknesses and challenges are. So self-awareness has always been a pretty important one to me. Another one I used today also is humility, and I love the phrase humble and hungry as part of describing humility of this is kind of a Northeast Ohio thing. I think naturally we are humble and hungry from growing up in Northeast Ohio, which I did, to going to the University of Akron and having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder relative to where you came up from or where you came from in growing up and going here to Akron. Being humble in how you interact with other folks. Putting others in front of you as a leader, I think, is really important to get that loyalty and camaraderie working with a lot of folks. I think the hungriness of drive and accountability to action and results, that chip on the shoulder is really important, I think, to get that kind of drive and motivation.
Blue Apron has been around since 2012 and was the first meal kit delivery service. Brad Dickerson took over as CEO after leaving Under Armour in 2016.
So Blue Apron was the first company, started 6 years ago, to deliver curated meal kits to your door. So what we do is we curate 8 unique recipes every week to choose from, where the customers can choose their recipe on a weekly basis. They can choose 2 or 3 of those recipes on a weekly basis. It serves 2 folks or 4 folks, depending on the size of your family, and it's a great way to get great meals, a great meal experience, to be cooked at home and to share with your loved ones. And it takes a lot of the work out of going to the grocery store and picking your ingredients and so forth. So it gives you the ability to have all that kind of put together for you, delivered to your door, and then you can obviously from there cook a great, healthy, fresh meal going forward.
Despite recent struggles, Brad sees a bright future with Blue Apron as the market gets even more competitive. With improvements on the horizon and an inspired CEO like Brad, it seems Blue Apron is here to stay. This is Michael Macon with Lights Camera Akron.
That is awesome, but I feel like some people enjoy the experience of grocery shopping.
Yeah, I mean, me too, but there are a lot of people who have really busy schedules and they just don't have time to go grocery shopping.
Okay, I suppose that's true. I guess I didn't really think about that. This would be perfect for a couple of Akron fanatics who might be too busy supporting UA to find time to make it to the grocery store.
Reporter Bree Hayes takes a look.
We are here in Stowe, Ohio, just down the road from the University of Akron, where we have some of the biggest Zips fans around. Let's take a look.
Dave and Shelley Harris, both graduates from the University of Akron, met, got married, and started a family. But their love for their alma mater has not changed. Since their son moved out of the basement, the couple decided to transform that space into something that no one will ever forget. I had the chance to sit down with Dave and Shelley and talk about their times at UA and how it has impacted their lives today.
I was doing an internship for a local radio station, and it was the last game in Memorial Hall. It was an all-star game for women's high school basketball. And his friend was on the aisle, and I actually talked to his friend more. But fast forward about almost 2 months later, I was freelancing a story covering my husband was a coach at Talmadge, girls softball. And he had a star pitcher, and I was sent out to do the story on his star pitcher, and I met him again, and I said, I remember you. I just happened to talk to your friend more than you, and that was it.
For Christmas, Dave gifted his wife Shelley 4 stadium seats from where it all started, Memorial Hall. Those seats are now the centerpiece of the basement, and now a little piece of their history can be with them forever.
They sat around here for a while, and quite frankly, everything was planned around the seats. Okay, let me get those into the wall somehow, and then one thing led to another. Talk to the people down there as to what colors they used for paint, for this, that, and the other thing. Try to match that up as much as possible. We had a lot of, and still have, a lot of Akron memorabilia and different things that over the years we've collected. Now that we're part of athletics a little bit more, we keep getting more and look forward to the next little piece here or there, whatever it happens to be. So it was like, okay, we need a place for bobbleheads. Let's put a shelf in for that. We need a place for this, need a place for that. And so it's still evolving a little bit.
And after so many years of us following Akron sports, the mementos just started to add up. We're season tickets for football, soccer, men's and women's basketball. So we just all of a sudden started getting so many things, and I thought, gosh, it's silly to just keep putting things in a drawer or putting things in a closet, and everything was all over our house. So my husband is very handy, and he had a vision, and actually the vision worked. The plan was around the 4 seats for Memorial Hall.
Meeting at Memorial Hall and just the connection to what it meant, because not only it was Memorial Hall and it was past, but it's where we met, and it's just that kind of, it's just kind of cool, that part of it.
Memorial Hall was the university's athletic building from December 11th, 1954 until it was taken off campus in 2010. It held many events like dances, political rallies, commencements, balls, and blood drives. Besides it being the start of history for the two, Shelley once cheered on the court for men's basketball. Being a Zip runs in the family. Besides Dave's dad graduating in 1952 and Shelley's family also attending the university, their 2 daughters received scholarships that allowed them to be students here at the University of Akron.
From when he was there and I was there and our daughters were there, and just kind of put together some sort of collage along those lines. It's not necessarily related to athletics, but the university specifically. I have a copy of his diploma, and I have mine. I don't want my daughters to give theirs up, but maybe I can get a copy and put all that together in a little thing or something like that.
The University of Akron has been very good to all of us. And we all have so many good memories of going there. A lot of our friends went there from high school. We're all still well connected. And then to have our 2 daughters want to go there, they didn't even look at anything else.
Dave and Shelley are active alumni on campus today. They participate in fall visit days and are even a part of alumni organizations on campus. Dave has also been in a commercial that the university has recently filmed.
I promote the university every time I can. My National Alumni Board stuff with my wife, we try to talk up the university as we can. They needed somebody. But my wife and I have gotten involved with the university. A lot of it has to do with growing up in Akron. Always, a lot of great memories, milestones in my life were associated at the university one way or another. Whether it was attending a sporting event as a little kid thinking it was the greatest thing, or being able to be in a track meet at the university as a little kid thinking that was great. And then it prepared me for my career. and all of the great things that came from that. Anything I can do to support the university, I'm all for that. So it was an easy choice when he asked me.
This has been Bree Hayes with Lights, Camera, Akron.
Wow, that is an awesome basement.
I agree. And guess what? It's time for our second commercial break. Stay tuned and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hello.
Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end piece of the zucchini and then the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that,
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit savethefood.com.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi everyone, and welcome back.
It's that time of the show again. Let's send it over to the newsroom with Naquan James for this week's headlines.
Bristol and Michael, the University of Akron has made another community partnership. This time it's with local community college, Stark State College. It's called a Direct Connect, which allows students to be enrolled at both institutions. The typical student will complete their associate's degree at Stark State and then transfer to UA to complete their bachelor's degree. Academic advisors from UA will work closely with SSC advisors and faculty members on each of the SSC's campuses and will meet directly with students to ensure a worry-free transition from one campus to another. Students enrolled in Direct Connect will have access to several UA services and programs while beginning their academic career at SSC. Students will be permitted the opportunity to use facilities and services offered to regularly admitted students at both SSC and UA, including libraries, career services, recreation centers, computer labs, sporting events, parking, email and internet access, and more. Akron Mayor Dan Horgan spoke at the signing. Stark State College President Dr. Para Jones says, quote, "This level of partnership between our institutions is exciting and will continue to create opportunities for all Stark State students to fulfill their ultimate dream of earning a bachelor's degree as an Akron Zip," end quote. UA President Dr. John Green said in part, quote, "We value our relationship with Stark State and see this as a model partnership that will greatly benefit students in Summit and Stark counties," end quote. 2018 midterm elections are right around the corner, and the Ray C. Blitz Institute of Applied Politics found that Ohio voters are nearly evenly divided in partisan terms. The Institute found a few things in a group of 1,000 Ohio voters: that it is split on who should be in charge of state government, gubernatorial candidates, and a generic vote for U.S. Senate. Voters who favor Democratic or Republican control of Ohio said that would one of the three choices to be very interested in the 2018 election. Ohioans overall say that the state is on the right track and the country is on the wrong track. Dr. David B. Cohen, Assistant Director of the Blitz Institute of Political Science Professor, says in part, quote, "Both sides are enthusiastic, engaged, and polarized. We will just have to wait and see how everything shakes out on November 6th, end quote. Finally, the city of Akron hosted a 23-day festival in mid-September. It attracted thousands of professionals and members of the public. They voted on their favorite piece of art, literature, and music. It ended on October 6th with 18 artists winning $33,000. Two of those artists were UA students. Current junior Pooja Dayal won the Literacy Art Jury Grand Prize in the amount of $3,000. She wrote the poem titled Mother. She was also able to travel to Chicago later this month to network with other artists. The second winner is fifth-year undergrad Alexandra Couch. She won $1,000 for the runner-up for the category of visual art. She did a piece called Embody. It is described as a mixed media art representation of the result of transculturation. Couch says, quote, some will simulate, others will rise and embody, end quote. Congratulations to these two ladies on your wins and good luck in your future endeavors. Well, that's all for this week's headlines. For the latest news, you can always visit www.uakron.edu for more. Reporting for the newsroom, I'm Naquan James. Lights, camera, Akron.
Thanks, Naquan.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, @ZTV LCA for the latest. I'm Brissa Bradfield.
And I'm Michael Macon. Thanks for watching Lights, Camera, Akron.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.